Good morning. This is the exam-based context session for English and Academic Communication Skills, Year 1, Semester 1. I am Rita Davids. I'm standing in for Mrs. Nieuwoud. Dear students, the examinations for 2017, that is April, August and November, had to be compiled as requested by the IOL office using the following assignments. Advanced Certificate in Secondary Education, Advanced Certificate in Senior Primary Education, Diploma in Pre-Primary Education, Diploma in Junior Primary Education, Bachelor of Education Senior Primary, Diploma in Senior Education. The questions were set up by correlating the questions found in all the assignments and the content from each study guide. The assignments handed in for 2017 must still be used in preparation for the examinations throughout the year. It will be wise to get the assignments of all the courses to get acquainted with the content of each assignment. Examination. The following is important information for your upcoming examination. The format. The duration is 2.5 hours for 120 marks. It is important that you answer all questions with subsections. The exam scripts consists out of the following. Question 1 will be 32 marks. Question 2, 14 marks. Question 3, 24 marks. Question 4, 30 marks. And question 5, 20 marks. Study material. Your study guide for DPPE EACS11, study guides for the ACSE and the ACPE11. The best students also use the ACE and ACPE study guides. The new combined IOL study guide for DJP, BES and DSE11. Understanding the questions. Every part of information can be assessed in a number of different ways. The examination papers are set up in 3 levels. Each question usually starts with a verb. Please pay special attention to the verbs used. These will guide you to what action you are expected to perform. Failing to perform the correct action will result in low marks or the loss of valuable marks. The following are the verbs mainly used. Level 1 will be 50%. Define means give the precise, brief meaning of something. Indicate what features are included and excluded. Describes means to provide detailed features of an issue or stages of a process in a logical sequence using numbers and headings and proper sentences. Identify means to recognize and name or list features. List or state means to present a list of names, facts, objects, etc. in a certain order. Explain means to describe something and indicate relationships between things, making clear the why, the reasons, and how, the examples of features. Summarize means to give a brief account of the essence of a matter through the main ideas. No details or examples, focusing on connections and meaning. Clarify means to describe something to clear up the meaning of significance. Level 2 will be 40%. Demonstrate means to perform the necessary operations, show by example. Propose means to suggest a plan or an idea. Analyze means to examine information in detail to discover the main ideas, components, or patterns or relationships. Show why they are important and how components are related and what theories they reflect. Discuss means give a clear description and then argue about features by pointing out positive and negative features, arriving at a conclusion. Level 3 will be 10%. Evaluate means to determine the value, the worth, the quality, success of something according to certain criteria. Compare means to indicate similarities, resemblances, and differences of phenomena regarding particular criteria. Draw a conclusion about the similarities and differences, emphasizing the similarities. Very often, a table format is used to compare phenomena. A description of one phenomenon after the other is not a comparison. Argue is to give valid reasons of ideas, facts, and sources. Discuss critically is when students have to give a reasoned judgment after carefully weighing the facts. Students have to provide positive and negative points and draw a conclusion. Distinguish means to describe two phenomena, things, according to relevant criteria. Point out clearly the differences between the two sets. Differentiate means to show how things are different or opposite regarding particular criteria. Look only for differences, not for similarities too, as in the case for compare. Important. All answers consist of facts that you will have to study from your study guide. For the language structured questions, you must understand the spoken and written language. Examination cover page. Under student details, the following information must be filled in: your student number, your surname, first name, ID number, and examination center. Instructions. Read the general instructions and examination instructions carefully and ensure that you know what is required before you start. You are not permitted to take any form of notes into the examination room. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as you can. Make sure that you watch the time to ensure that you finish in time. If time permits, read through your answers to pick up possible mistakes. Then you must also make sure that you have answered all questions. Very important, the paper is set up so that you write on the paper itself. The quantity of lines given will also help you to determine the length of your answer. Also look at the marks allocated at each question to determine how many facts to write to obtain the correct marks. Your study guide consists out of 4 units. References are done according to the Kindle, as all the students have the Kindle. Core topics for the units in the study guide. Unit 1, General and Academic Listening Skills. Good listening skills in general and social situations. Non-verbal cues in listening comprehension, for example, intonation, personal space, gestures, intonation, and emphasis. Listening for note-taking in academic situation, for example, listening for purpose, meaning, structure, details, main points, opinions, facts, conclusions. For the examination, concentrate on good listening skills. Unit 2, General and Academic Reading Skills. The value of reading a lot, importance of benefits of reading, features of a competent reader, the role of grammar and vocabulary in effective reading, the importance of language in effective teaching and learning, the comprehension of written texts. Reading techniques, for example, skimming and scanning. How to read texts, papers, and magazines critically. How to read test and examination papers. The proper use of a dictionary and a thesaurus. For the examination, concentrate on the following: benefits of reading, extensive reading. Reading techniques, for example, skimming and scanning. How to read texts, papers, or magazines critically. Unit 3, General and Academic English Speaking Skills. Pronunciation of English sounds. Compiling a glossary of 50 new words and their meaning per semester. Basic interpersonal communication skills. Oral etiquette in the following situations: telephone conversations, participation in meetings, interviews, etc. The use of the W questions for gathering information. Common law guidelines for managing or chairing group discussions. For the examination, concentrate on big scalps and interviews. Unit 4, Linguistic Constructs. Levels of language. Parts of speech, nouns, verbs, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, and prepositions. Idioms, abbreviations, and animal sounds. Conjunctions, synonyms, synonyms and antonyms, homonyms and homophones. For the examinations, you must be able to answer questions from a given passage, make sentences with given words, explain certain phrases from the passage, give the past tense of certain words, identify and correct spelling errors. Examination preparation and writing tips. Exam timetable. Make sure you know what rooms your exams will be in and what time they start. Consult the IOL officers for those details and not the subject tutor. During the examinations, write your details as requested. Read the exam paper a couple of times to make sure you understand the instructions and questions. Make sure you answer all questions. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Calculate how much time you will give to each question and stick to it. Emergency. If you happen to fall ill during the exam session, immediately notify the invigilator for correct action to be taken. General. Obtaining high marks in your assignment does not guarantee high marks in the examination. You now have to make sure you know the content of the assignment and other information from the study guide very well to do well in the upcoming examination. Make sure that you have all the information you get from the contact sessions and the feedback of the assignments. You will find very important and useful information through these. Please study hard for the upcoming examination to be successful. If you need my help on something, contact me on my email address below. This way I can give you a well-constructed answer. I wish you all the best. Elmarie Neo at cloter@afrol.com.na